Testing, testing.
We good? Hey, crowd, are we going?
Yeah, you said we're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's the day after Labor Day and the first Coach Brew show of 2025. Give it up. Coach Brew, how long have we been doing this?
Ooh, it's been a while, man. When did we start? Probably 4 years in?
4 years in. Okay, if it was 4 years in, this is what year for you and Zachary?
12. Year number 12.
Year number 12, folks.
Right.
The winning. You are the winningest coach in Zachary history, aren't you?
That's what they tell me. That's what they tell me, yeah.
All right, folks, this is a Tuesday night tradition. We are excited. Tonight we have our Player of the Week, Dylan Shomar, our Coach of the Week, Stephen Thomas, and other special guests. Anybody you want to recognize out in the crowd right now, Coach Brew?
Well, I'll probably recognize some different people as we go through the show. I can see everyone is just absolutely excited and jacked up for this thing to crank up, so we probably need to get rolling on this thing. Kimball just threw a waitress aside trying to hurry up and get his food over there, so I don't know what they got rolling.
You got to like that intensity out of a linebacker, huh, Coach?
Gotta have it, baby. Gotta have it. Feed that boy.
Not slowed down by the ankle when the food is in play.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
All right, Coach Brew, let's do this. Let's start off. Let's give folks a preview of this year's regular season schedule. I got it in front of me. We had the scrimmage with Denham Springs last week. We had the Jamboree. Let's talk a little bit about the schedule and what to anticipate from the Broncos this year.
All right. Okay. So we finished up. We had a jamboree last week with the Livonia Wildcats, and our freshmen actually played their JV team and got a good win. I think we came out. I think we had a 1-point win, 7-6 maybe. So that was a good win for them. And then our varsity guys came on the field and played, and we had a good win there, 121-0 in a jamboree game. So it's always nice to get a win in the jamboree. Always nice to see our stadium with a lot of people in it getting ready for the season. So it was pretty fun time last Friday. We fast forward this week to Plaquemine. Plaquemine has 18 starters coming back off of a state semifinal team. Plaquemine had 2 losses last year. One was to us in week 1, and then one was in the state semifinals where they got beat. I think, coaches, do y'all remember who beat Plaquemine in the semifinals last year? Was it Franklinton or was it Cecilia? Okay. So they lost to Cecilia in the semifinals. So with 18 starters returning, they are expecting some huge things out of Plaquemine this year. So really good football team coming in to play us on Friday. After that, we'll host Acadiana, the Wrecking Rams. Zachary fans know far too well what the old Rams bring to the table, but we're excited about hosting them this year and look forward to a week 2 matchup. Week 3, we're going to get on the road for the first time. We're going to head to Lafayette. We're going to play Karen Crow on their home field. Again, another team coming back with a plethora of starters coming back. I think the last number I read was 15. Returning quarterback coming back.
He's something, huh?
Yeah, he's a player. He's a player. We were very, very fortunate to get out of that game a year ago with a 1-point win. It was a big win for us. And then we'll have an open date at that point, kind of get rested up a little bit. After that, Opelousas, we got to get back on I-10 and head west again. We'll head to Opelousas and play in their brand new turf stadium there. They lost their head coach last year. He's now the head coach. His name is Jimmy Zachary. He's now the head coach at Liberty Magnet. So we'll get to coach against him in week, week 7, right? After Opelousas, we will host the Scotlandville Hornets. That's going to be senior night. We're going to recognize all of our senior football players when the Hornets roll into town. After the Hornets, we play Liberty Magnet. That'll be homecoming in the Corral on October 17th. We travel across town, across Baton Rouge to Woodlawn for week 7 game, just like we've played in the last couple of years. Our final home game in the regular season will be the Central Wildcats. That night we are going to have our annual 8th grade night, where all of our 8th graders in the school district will come enjoy some time with us in the field house and spend some time with us in pregame meetings and locker room talks and such. We'll have a good night that night. It will also be the same night that we will recognize for their 10-year reunion the 2015 state championship team. So we're extremely excited about that. That's the first championship in Zachary football history. So we're hoping a lot of those guys were able to make it back in town so we can celebrate those guys. And then we'll finish up the regular season on Thursday, November the 6th, in Memorial Stadium in Baton Rouge against the Bears of Calvin County.
Coach, let's go back. That 2015 championship team.
Right.
Remind folks some of the great players on that team and some of the things that they did that year.
Wow. What a tremendous football team that was. They were a lot of fun to coach and watch. I caught myself being a fan a lot watching those guys. You got to start off with the quarterback, Lindsey Scott, two-time All-State guy, quarterback, was phenomenal. He really was. I remember Terry Sullivan, the running back position. I remember Kelton Hollins anchoring the offensive line up there. And then on the outside, Doug Coleman was an all-state wide receiver, ended up going to play at Texas Tech. That team was just, it was loaded in a whole bunch of aspects. Those were some key offensive guys. On the defensive side, wow, man. Sylvester and Lester Perkins.
The Perkins boys,
A couple of D-line guys that could really do it. Inside linebackers, Donovan Perkins and Herbert Cummings. Those guys were a lot of fun to watch. One of the best outside linebackers I've ever coached, Tywan Bearden, who was incredible. And then on the back half of that, PJ Cannon, who was a tremendous defensive back for us. So, the names that roll off the tongue with that class and that team were super, super special. And it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot that night as a coach. We scored right before halftime. I'll never forget this. We scored right before halftime. Thank you, son. And we go up 14-12. And I'm thinking about this long, drawn-out speech I'm going to give at halftime, right? We're going to go win a state title in the second half. And I'm thinking about all these things that I want to say to the team at halftime. We walk in, and usually what happens is I talk to the team real quick, and then we split up into offense and defense. And, Dominic Holden was a sophomore starting offensive lineman. And right before I'm about to talk to the team, he raises his hand. And he said, "Coach, can I say something?" I said, "Yeah, absolutely." He said, "Coach, we broke them on that last drive. It wasn't near as hard to block them as it was at the beginning of the game." He said, "I think this game's about to get ugly." And when he said that, I'm staring at the team as the head coach, thinking about all these things that I want to tell them, and I just stopped for a second. I said, "Well, I guess I really have anything to say after that, right? Let's go ahead and break up. Offensive guy, you go over there. Defensive guys, you go over there." And he was absolutely right. We played tremendous in the second half and physically dominated that game and came away with the first title in Zachary history. So what an awesome night for the Broncos.
Coach, there was somebody in the room tonight who was not at that game. He's on the staff now, which I've heard the story from his perspective. Would you tell me the story, Coach Brew?
Well, it's no secret now. I've been trying to hire Chris McNamara for a long time, and he always said, that he came to the game when we lost. It was 2 years before at Livonia, and he thought he was bad luck, so he said, "I'm not going to another one. I'm not going to do it until I'm coaching there and we win a championship." Right? So he wasn't there for that night, and we won one. But he's in a historical picture in 2008. In 2018, he and his son on the sideline, he and his son Cooper, when Chris Hilton breaks the long 80-yard touchdown to beat West Monroe. And there's a great picture there with Mac and his son on the sideline. I think he was wearing a Columbia blue shirt that night, as a matter of fact. So
nice.
He was always testing to come join us over here on the dark side, right? So, but yeah. So crazy things went on, man. Crazy things went on.
All right, Coach, let's go back to the district. We talked before the season, a lot of changes in the district. Why don't you you alluded to Opelousas, but there's a lot of new faces. Why don't you talk a little bit about coaches in the district and new faces and what's going on?
Yeah, our district, when you look at it, obviously, it's pretty star-studded when you talk about, Central's returning state champions, and Catholic is always there at the end, and the returning Catholic's the returning district champions, and then we've had some success over the years. I think that, Scotlandville, Richard Oliver's the new head coach there. Richard Oliver actually coached defensive line at Zachary back in the day. Longtime coach in the East Baton Rouge Parish coaching circles. He's a very well-respected coach. He's actually been the head coach at Scotlandville before. This is his second stint there. So looking to see some improvement out of the Hornets. Coach Rich does a great job over there. Liberty, like I said, Jimmy Zachary is the new head coach there. Jimmy's coming off a state championship at Opelousas, and then a deep run last year. And he coaches he has a very he's got a hard-nosed brand of coaching, and I expect some things to come fairly soon for Liberty. Liberty is it's the school in EBR that it's the newest school in EBR, and I think everybody involved with East Baton Rouge Parish education is really looking for Liberty to be one of those schools. It's a tremendous academic school as well as athletic school. Jimmy Zachary might just so be the guy to do that with their football program. I think he's a heck of a coach. With Woodlawn, we stole their head coach, Coach Scott Pelican, right? So I'm really fired up about that because he's a really good ball coach, and he's been a big addition to our staff already. But Coach Douglas, their new head coach there, he was already on staff there, was the receivers coach, and he's got a reputation of being a good ball coach as well. So we're certainly looking forward to some great games within our district, and I think it's going to be awfully competitive week in and week out. We're excited about that.
All right, for those of you who it's your first time coming to the Coach Brew Show, we are looking for questions for Coach Brew for at the end. Hunter, get her to wave her hand. She's got the questions for you. If you want a question to ask Coach Brew, pass it along. Okay, before we go to the break. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
If Ellie's walking around here and she hands you a piece of paper and says, I need a question on here for the end, I would strongly suggest that you give her a question. I'm just going to tell you.
Ellie is very forceful.
Little girl gets fired up now. I'm just going to tell you. So write her a question, for God's sake. All right.
All right, before we go to the break, Coach Brew.
Yep.
Talk to me about our Coach of the Week and our player. I assume it's Farm Bureau still, right?
It is the Farm Bureau player.
Frank Finney. Frank Finney, Farm Bureau.
That's right. Player of the Week, Dylan Shellmeyer. 3-year starter for us at outside linebacker on our defense. Tremendous young man, great athletic ability, certainly been a mainstay on our defense. He's one of those guys that is always there every week, right? And you're always going to see him make some big plays for our defense. Coming off a 3-sack game the other night in the Jamboree. He's one of those guys that gets it done in the classroom and on the field. He's got he's committed. He's playing, committed to Southeastern. So, his football career is not going to end when he plays his last game as a Bronco, right? He's got an opportunity to go on and play some college ball. So we're certainly very excited for him there. And just somebody who represents our program very well, and we're awfully proud of him. So, Dylan, congratulations on all your success so far, and we can't wait to get you on this microphone. You're going to play college ball, you got to get used to these microphones being in your face. So you'll have some time tonight to do a little interview. As far as our Coach of the Week, his coach, Steve Thomas. Coach Thomas and I have been together a long, long time. and I was extremely lucky to be able to hire him back in the day. We did it several years at Livonia together, and he's kind of been a mainstay on the staff for a long time. Tremendous football coach, also a tremendous wrestling coach. And he brings a ton to the table. So when we were making the transition from Livonia to Zachary, that was a no-brainer to try to get him to come over and run the defense, right? So he was the defensive coordinator for us for all 4 of our state championships here. And then, we sat down and talked a couple of years ago, and he's coaching 2 sports that take the majority of the time throughout the course of the year. And he said, hey man, I just want to take a step back for a little while, and I still want to coach. I said, well, thank God, we got to keep you on staff, and so he does a great job with our outside linebackers, and somebody that's brought a tremendous amount to our football program with the way he coaches ball and the relationships he forms with our kids. So, Coach, thank you for everything, man. We certainly appreciate it.
All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, you want to talk a little bit about the Jamboree, a little bit more about Plaquemine, or you want to bring some of these coaches and players up? It's up to you, Coach.
Oh, I've been talking for a little while. Why don't we start bringing up some of these guys?
All right, who do you want? You want the coach or you want Bill?
Yeah, I think Coach Thomas. Coach, you finished eating over there, man? Oh, it looks like Coach Thomas is going to be ready to go.
All right, we're going to take a short break. We'll come back with your Farm Bureau Coach of the Week, Coach Stephen Thomas.
All right. Hey.
No, I'm not.
All right, we are back. Coach Thomas with a little technical difficulties. That's all right. You can use this mic. I'll ask a question and I'll hand it to you. How's that sound? Believe it or not, we had a question for Coach Thomas in the Ask Coach Brew section.
What? That's not supposed to happen. That's not.
Yes, it happened. Hold tight. Let me find it. Okay. Coach Thomas, how many pairs of flip-flops do you own?
At this time, 3. I have a casual wear, I have around the house wear, and then I have a church wear.
Church?
Oh yes. Jesus wore sandals. Why can't I? So yes, I definitely have those 3. There you go.
All right. First question for Coach Thomas.
That was you, wasn't it?
I'm going to start this with the question I usually end on, but How long have you been at Zachary, and why is Zachary the greatest place you've ever coached?
Been 12 years, same amount of time as with Coach Brew. Why do I love coaching at Zachary? Because of the school colors, because the blue really brings out the odd color of my eyes. They really make them pop. And we have phenomenal facilities, phenomenal administration, just phenomenal support from the community, the whole 9 yards, and that goes a long way as far as what we're trying to accomplish, what we try to do here. And so it's just been a lot of fun, and love being here.
All right, Coach Thomas, for those who don't know you,
That's a scary question. All right.
Okay, we'll just start with the coaching stuff. All right, so give us your coaching journey.
Oh, wow. Let's see. Coaching journey. 19 years. Started out when I was still in college. I was at Dutchtown. So I was a student coach at Dutchtown. When I graduated college, they did not have a job for me, so I went to the crosstown rival Santa Mall for a couple of years. Left from there, went to Port Allen, and that's where that was my first coordinating job. I was defense coordinator at Port Allen. When I got there, head coach Guy Blanchard there gave me my shot. It was kind of like on-the-job training type of thing. After there, I'm not going to talk about where I went next because I was only there for half a year and we sucked really bad with Walker. Actually, when my head coach at that school got fired in November, we all went down to New Orleans to go watch state championship games. And I happened to run into David Brew. And me and Coach Brew knew each other here and there from football and wrestling and stuff like that. And he just asked me, "Hey man, how's everything going?" I was like, "Not too good. I'm looking for a job." He's like, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm dead serious." So he's like, "All right, give me the weekend." And like the following Monday, I had an interview with him and the principal and all like that at Livonia, and he ended up hiring me and liked what he heard, liked what he knew about me, and hired me at Livonia. And then the rest is history. Then came over here to Zachary.
All right, now I'm going to put you on the spot. 4 state championships. Your favorite team?
I'm going to go the politically correct route, like Coach Brew would do, and say, they all had this aspect of something different. So like the 2015, like Coach Brew was up here talking about the 2015 team. We have the comeback this year, 2025, 10-year reunion. I just remember, what I remember at halftime is the whole game plan that week was we're going to slant and stunt to the strength or away from the strength, depending on, what formation they gave us. Because their O-line was big. The quarterback was 250 pounds. The running back was 250 pounds. So like we gotta hit these dudes head on as fast as possible. So we're gonna slant to it, do this, that, and the other. And at halftime, Daryl Brown, one of our D linemen, "Man, Cole, we ain't got to slant. We can handle these dudes straight up." It's like, well, good. That's our halftime adjustment. And they didn't score points in the second half. We just stayed squared up, just static defense, and just hammered their butts. So that was a good deal. Funny story about Daryl Brown. You're going to appreciate this one. Our first year here in 2014, we're playing Scotlandville. And I don't know if you remember, but Scotlandville handed it to us the couple of years before we weren't here, before we got here. We finished the game, we waxed them. I mean, killed them. The band left, the chain gang just dropped the chains and just walked across the field. They were just utterly pissed. And we just waxed them. After the game, we're huddling around Coach Brew, and Daryl Brown is walking across the field to Scotlandville's sideline all the way to the fence. And I remember looking at our D-line coach, I was like, where's Dan Brown going? He's like, I don't know. He goes over there and he's holding his hand out, just doing his hands like, hey, gimme, gimme, gimme. Dude gives him a stack of cash and he puts it down in his pants. He had bet on the game and said, we're going to whack y'all's ass. And we won. He went over there and collected his bet on the Friday night. I was like, hell yes, that was awesome. So that was a great time right there. But that 2015 was special. Donovan Perkins, Harold Cummings, all those guys that Coach Brew called out. I mean, just they bought into what we were doing, hook, line, and sinker, and we went and got it done that first year, 2015. 2017, I don't think we knew at that time how good we could have been. When we went out there and finally got it done, but then that 2018 team, they were like, yeah, they knew without a doubt we're going to win it, period. And then the 2021 class, I mean, you're going to love this. That D-line
Best
was
I've ever
stupid.
seen. Best I've ever seen.
Stupid good. And, like, nobody could run the ball on us. And it was amazing just to watch that group perform. But I can't give you an answer. I can't. I'm gonna pull a Coach Brew and say I cannot give an answer. They all had a specific just element to them that just made them champions.
In 2021, Coach Crowder has best defensive line I've ever seen in the 30 years. Well, yeah, when I was playing. It's the best D line I've ever seen in Joffrey. No, even then. That was a great defensive line. All right, Coach Thomas. Coming up next, we're going to have Dylan Shellmeyer. You can't look at his stats because I wrote them down.
Okay.
Tell me about coaching Dylan Shellmeyer.
Dylan is his physical presence, his physical prowess, his destructive just play, the way he plays, and the way he just tries to wreck things is what I really, really like to coach about him. It's just, I don't have to coach it. It's just there. I just tell him, this is what I expect, this is what I want. Hey, this guy needs to get his head ripped off on this play. And he's just like, okay. And he does it. And just all of our outside linebackers are kind of like that. We, like they used to break to OLBs, ready, break. I was like, guys, that sounds stupid. We're changing that. We're going to change it to badasses. We break to badasses. And I tell them every time they break to it, it's like, hey, don't say it unless you mean it. I like how they've taken on that kind of persona of they don't give a damn. They're just going to go out and play hard and try to wreck things and try to kill people. And that's what I want. That's what I need. So we base it off of that. And Shellmeyer is like a leading person in doing that for us. So I love coaching him. I love coaching Isaiah Stokes. I mean, Jace Mason, Matthew Alexander, even our young bucks, Brandon Hawkins, Darius Lee, and Draylon Knox and Trey Morgan, they're all right there with us together. And we do the things we have to do, and it's a lot of fun doing.
Are there any special guests you'd like to recognize tonight? Don't screw this up.
Absolutely not. There's nobody here that supports me anywhere except for my mother and father have shown up tonight. Pat and Sally Thomas, they came tonight to support their baby and family. So I appreciate them being here. And then I don't see anybody else. Not an immediate family.
No, he's not going to recognize Hunter. All right, anything else? You're coach of the week. Anything else you want to throw out there?
I'm going to make a prediction. This will not be my last time being here.
Dylan, did you hear that?
Bookmark. Look, Mark, what's today's date? September 2nd?
September
September 2nd. I said that this December 2nd. What time?
6:32.
6:32 p.m. This will not be my last time here because we're going to get it done.
So the question is it going to be Dylan again, or is it going to be Isaiah, or we shall see.
I can't answer that.
Outside linebackers, you have been challenged. All right, your coach of the week, Stephen Thomas. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, the reason he's here, Dylan Shellmeyer. All right, we are back with your player of the week, Dylan Shellmeyer. All right, here's some stats for you folks. 15 plays, not 15 minutes, 15 plays. 3 sacks, 4 other tackles, 2 assists. 2 of those tackles were behind the line. I'd say that's kind of impressive. Yeah. Dylan, good week?
Yeah.
So, Dylan, anything you want to say about last week's performance?
I mean, I was in great situations where I could make plays, and our coaches were, Coach Zito more in particular, making a call to put me in the right position, and Coach.
Louder and closer to the mic.
Our coach made great plays, so put us in a great position to make plays, and and that's that.
All right. Well, Dylan, you're a senior. Tell us about this season.
This season means a whole lot to me. Obviously, being the last one. Not only that, but knowing that I had a fallen teammate this past off season, knowing that he can't do it, we got to do it for him this year. It's like it's a final go.
All right, Mom and Dad, y'all don't like this one. I love when I'm able to ask this question. Dylan, what's your grade point average?
3.0.
He's doing it in the classroom too. All right, well, you heard Coach Thomas talk about you. You got anything to say about playing for Coach Thomas?
Coach Thomas, every single day that we get on the field, it's all intensity, everything you got for however many periods of practices, and there's no letting up on anybody. Like we like to call brother-in-law.
No brother-in-law. So next year, Coach Brew mentioned Southeastern. What are you planning on majoring in?
Sports management.
And why sports management?
Because after I'm done, playing football in college, I planned on coaching after coaching out of high school or college. So trying to get into that because I've been interested in that for like a little minute now.
All right. Before we get to Plaquemine, are there any guests in the audience that you would like to recognize?
Tyson Kimball, Tavion Richard, Jace Mason, Cole Fudge, Matthew Alexander, Evan Lawson. Who's that? Brandon? Brandon hiding behind that? Yeah, that's Brandon.
Your mom and dad.
My mom and dad, of course. My whole family. And Tyler Franklin.
All right. So let's talk about Plaquemine this week. Pretty good challenge.
Yes.
They look pretty good on film.
I mean, they look pretty good on film. I mean, nothing I haven't seen before. Obviously, we played them last year, but this year and last year are two different times now. We have to go and execute like we're supposed to, like every single week.
All right. Anything else, Dylan?
Nothing else really. The one thing I like, at least like my outlook on the season, I believe that we can make it far this year because I know this group is very talented. It's a very special group, and I think that regardless of what everybody else says, I know this group can do it.
All right. It's been a while since we won a state championship. No pressure there. I mean, it's been just like 4 years. We like going to the dome.
Yes.
Let's go win one.
That's right.
All right. Let's see. Any other questions for Dylan? I think that's got it, Dylan, unless there's anything you want to... obviously, folks, you want to come see Dylan this Friday night. Take on the Plaquemine Green Devils. Coach Thomas said that this isn't going to be the last time that he's going to be here with the Player of the Week. Can I count on you a couple more times this year?
I'm pretty sure you can.
All right. You heard it here first. Dylan will be back. When we come back, Coach Brew will talk a little bit more. We'll take a break. It's the last segment. This is our favorite segment in a lot of ways. The first question comes from Shelley. Are we going back to the Dome this year, Coach Brew?
The old Dome.
First week you got to have that question.
Right. I certainly hope so, Shelley. That's always the plan, one way or the other. Always the plan.
All right, let's talk, Coach Brew. How you feeling about the defense this year? Talk about the defense.
Yeah, very experienced group on that side of the ball. Those guys on that side of the ball have a ton of experience coming back, a lot of game experience. So we're excited about that. I think early on this season we're gonna have to lean on that defense a lot, carry us through some ball games until the offense completely gels together and is ready to go. But you got some guys that have a lot of starts on that side of the ball. A lot of starts. Up front. As much as Calvin Duncan played and Cartier Brown. Those guys played a ton last year, and then with the linebacking core, the two guys in the middle with Bethley and Kimball there, and then of course Shellmeyer and Stokes on the outside. I mean, you're talking about four guys that have some plethora of experience right there coming back. So that's huge. And, on the back end of that, you return your two starting corners, Jeremiah Smith and Zachary Hogan. So when you have that kind of depth and that kind of experience coming back, that's big, and that's if those guys can put everything together and play, confident and fast, we have a chance to have a really, really good game.
Well, that kind of sets up. Let's talk about the offense. We've got technically two new running backs, got a new quarterback, a couple of young bloods at receiver, a couple of liners back. Why don't you talk a little bit about the offense?
Yeah, we do that. When you talk about an offense, anytime that I talk about an offense, I'm always going to talk about up front, where are we? Because those guys are going to ultimately, at the end of the day, offensively, if you're going to be good, I can pretty much tell you your O-line's got to be good. That's just the way that's going to be. Obviously, we have some guys coming back off that offensive line with a lot of playing time, with Braden White and KJ coming back there, and then of course James Brown played a lot last year, and Cole Futch played a lot last year, and Tavion Richard, the return starter. So we've got a lot of experience coming back up there. And those guys can gel really early, then I think the offense can get going pretty quickly. With the quarterback position, what an interesting dynamic we have right now with the amount of quarterbacks. When you walk out to our practice and you see 5 different quarterbacks slinging a ball around every day, those guys are really, really experienced. And then you got 2 new ones that are sophomores trying to get that experience. So that quarterback room, when you're talking about with our couple seniors that we have, with Kirby and Massengill there, and then Green is a junior, and then Willie Johnson and John Wesley, the 2 sophomores. That's 5 capable quarterbacks. In fact, today when I was watching practice, and I was just kind of watching what was going on, and I started thinking about how when everyone is freaking out about their football teams, what if this guy goes down, or what if that guy goes down? How are we going to do this? How are we going to do that? Like, we legitimately have 5 guys that can go in and run our offense right now, and you feel pretty good about it, right? So we're certainly very, very blessed there. And then the receiving core, talented guys. You got Christian Brooks that's already committed to a D1 program at the University of Louisiana, and a couple of juniors with Ashton Carter and Jacoby Reams, and now with the addition of Ethan Kimmy and what he brings to the table. I think we have a chance with that receiving core to be really, really good as the season goes on. With the running backs, Jeremy Patton, watching him run as a JV guy last year, and how much fun he was to watch as a JV running back, and that's certainly transferred over to this year and him playing there, and then Tyleik Lewis, watching him, that's a big kid to be able to run that fast, right? So you certainly have some talent there as well. So I think all across the board we have a chance to be pretty good when it's all said and done offensively.
You were talking about your quarterbacks and being able to plug them in during the jamboree. Lawson had to play center, did a pretty good job, huh?
We did. We had to have him get in there and do what we needed to do. Coach Davis, who's a phenomenal offensive line coach, has certainly been playing some mix and match there with what we need to do with some injuries that we have. You gotta have faith in those guys to get in there and do what they needed to do. So I thought he played well when he got in there and did some of the things that we needed to do in Philly.
All right, next question. Coach Brew, what is your favorite thing about coaching?
Favorite thing about coaching, I think I certainly was very blessed when God decided that I was going to be a high school coach. Obviously, with the success that we have had, certainly there's been some calls that have come in about possibly looking at doing something else as far as coaching at a higher level, small college type stuff, but. I really think I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, working with high school kids. I think the relationships that you get to form there is super important. And I tell you, I can't tell you how many times that my phone rings in the middle of the night sometimes, and either a current player or a player that's graduated years past calls to talk to me about something or calls to tell me something great that's happened in his life. And that's what makes it awesome. It really does. So I enjoy it. I enjoy it every single day that I get to come to work and work with these great kids and this great coach.
All right, so what are you most excited about for the 2025-2026 season?
Right. Well, I'd be lying to you if I told you that I still don't get super excited every year when it's the beginning of the year and we're ready to go. Right? I like a lot of things about this football team. I tell you, one of the major things that I like about it is the senior class seems to be a very, very close-knit group. They hang out a lot together when they're away from school, and that's something that is important. I'll also say that you can see a fire in their eyes that they want to be the next great senior class to come through, right? And that always makes me happy. Sometimes classes come through that maybe don't have as much fire in them to be the next great one. That's certainly not this class. They're excited about it and they're ready to go.
Ann Nielsen, as usual, has a great question. Ann wants to know, can you elaborate on the areas of improvement you saw between the scrimmage and the jamboree?
Yeah. A scrimmage is a scrimmage right? When you talk about having 5 or 6 guys out for one reason or the other, whether it's disciplinary issues or whether it's injuries or whether it's, it is what it is. I saw some really good things in the scrimmage. I saw some terrible things in the scrimmage, right? And so the kicker is, when we talk about the progress of a football team, you have to talk about not where you're going to be at the end of this whole thing. You got to talk about where you're going to be next week, right? So you talk about making sure that you're better this week, better than you were a week ago, right? And that's going to be our major emphasis. I thought the other night, we looked a little cleaner on offense, a little more settled down. I thought the game looked slower for our offensive guys as far as our reads and stuff were concerned. Defensively, I thought we played a little faster this past week. I thought we saw things happening a little bit quicker, and therefore we were able to make plays faster. And that's always going to be important. Special teams wise, if we could get some more consistency with kicking the ball into the end zone. The best defense that we've ever had at Zachary High School since I've been here happened to be the year that we kicked the most touchbacks. And I'm serious now, that's the truth. That is the absolute truth. There's a direct correlation there between a team constantly starting on the 20-yard line coming out as opposed to the 30 or the 35 after a run back, or you blow a coverage and they house one or whatever. It just, when you start talking about momentum in a game, it's huge. People don't understand that's all I ask out of special teams every year. I'm serious. I ask Coach Crowder. I talk about it the entire offseason. Hey, are we kicking the ball in the end zone? Are we kicking the ball in the end zone? How many, put a percentage on it. How many times are we? Hey, Coach, we're working on it, man. We're working on it. Because I know how important it is for our defense. Right? It's massive. It really is. But the scrimmage, we blocked a punt for a touchdown. We had a great punt return from our own 3-yard line out to the 50 to give us an opportunity to put a drive together. So we did some really good things special teams wise in the scrimmage. And then in the jamboree, we only had one opportunity to return a kick. And it was fun, we did some good things there. So I think we have a very capable kicker in Boston Benton. Christian Cozy, our punter. When we get into one of those games where it's a defensive just slugfest and we got to punt the ball 6-7 times in a game, people are going to remember his name quickly after that game because he has an absolute rocket for a leg, and when he catches them, they go a long, long ways, right? So I think from a special team standpoint, we could have some advantages throughout the course of this year as far as flipping some field position and also having some great returns.
Coach, it's a fun thing to sit in the press box and watch him warm up on punts.
Right.
Oh my
right.
God.
Yeah.
Every other one, he's booming a 60-yarder.
Yep. They all do that when the bullets aren't flying. You know what I'm talking about? Those bullets start flying, things start speeding up a little bit for you. You got to try to catch them.
Speaking of bullets flying, boy, whoever asked this question, I want to get Casey's opinion on this one after I ask this question and I get your answer. All right. Coach Brew, how do you maintain your composure when a ref makes a bad call?
That's a great question. I'm not sure I do a real good job of that. I've got to really thank those guys after a game for the job that they do. I got to really thank them before the game. Hey, thank y'all for coming out. We appreciate it because I will lose it from time to time when I feel like there was a call that was blown, right? But people don't really understand why. Here's why I lose it. Because I've got coaches that work 90 hours a week. I got players that show up on our campus at 5 o'clock in the morning. They come to practice. They go through a full day of school, and then they put in 2.5 hours after school. So, we have an entire program that puts in a ton of work for those 4 quarters on Friday night. So, I expect for everybody to be great that night, including the referees, right? And usually when I go back and look at film, I get mad about some things that I didn't need to get mad about because I was wrong, right? And I'm be honest with you now. I've been known to call referees and apologize to them on the weekend. Say, hey, look, I screwed up. I'm an idiot. I yelled at you for the wrong reason, right? And I think they appreciate that. I think on the flip side of that, I've gotten some calls on the weekend saying, hey, Coach, look, I just want to let you know, we're looking at film right now. We blew this call in the 3rd quarter on 4th and 6th, whatever it was. So that's all part of it. I try to make sure that the older I get, the calmer I try to be on the sidelines, right? I'm not sure I do a great job of that still, but I'm trying to get better with that. But I just feel like our guys, our coaching staff, and our kids work so hard that I want to make sure that they have a tremendous amount of success, and we do as a program.
So you don't count to 10?
No.
Yoga, Pilates?
No, I don't count to 10.
You know what?
I will say this, I do take 7 minutes every single day, and I leave my office, and I leave my phone on my desk, and I lock the door, and I leave. Sometimes I go to the press box, sometimes I go to the freshman locker room, sometimes I just go in my truck, and I drive my truck around the senior parking lot, I park in the back. It's for about 7 or 8 minutes, where I just have total and complete quiet time. And that does help me kind of meditate a little bit and put things in perspective. I do that.
Well, after watching you for 11 years, in the press box, there's some signs that we look at.
Yeah.
First is to look down.
Yeah.
Then it's to look up.
Yep.
There's the wrap it down, wrap it up. He's fixing to blow.
Yep.
Is that fair?
That comes off. Take the visor
Yep.
off.
Yep.
Yeah, I know.
We see the signs.
I'm going to do better this year. I promise I'll do better. By the way, I didn't realize the future mayor Zachary was sitting with us. Grayson Stoker.
Grayson Stoker.
Yeah. Future mayor Zachary. And David better watch himself. He's already put in whatever that thing is you got to register when you're going to run in a year or two. I saw Grayson the other day dropping his off. He said, "It's go time." Hey, we're here for you, baby. Anything you need, Grayson, you let us know.
Well, Coach, that's about time. Any closing thoughts and thoughts on the Green Devils?
I will say this. First of all, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We appreciate it. I will say this. When I left school tonight, I peeked my head into the Bronco room before I left my office, or after I left my office, headed to the elevator, and there was about 25 people in the Bronco room that are the ZAF board members now, right? And they were in there talking about a lot of different things about what they're, the things they have planned coming up as far as our athletic department is concerned. I certainly would challenge all the Bronco faithful to try to get involved with that. We've got a lot of new guys that are excited about that opportunity for doing things for our kids. And I can't thank those guys enough. We have an outgoing president, Chris Hilton. And now Michael Kimball has taken over as the new president.
Coach Brew is here. Michael Kimball, wave your hand.
Kimball's here. Oh, thank you, Michael. We appreciate it. As the fire chief in the capital city of Baton Rouge, he didn't feel like he had enough to do, so he decided to become the president of ZAF. So, Mike, we certainly appreciate it. Mrs. Kimball, I'm sure you're extremely excited that he took on something else in his life that he feels the need to be in charge of. Just want to say thank you all. We appreciate it. But we're excited about that. We're excited about it. Those guys and ladies that are involved with that, they do things for our student athletes from the high school to our junior high to Copper Mills athletic departments. They do a bunch for everybody, and I'm excited about the enthusiasm that's there in that room right now. I'll close with this. I am extremely thankful and grateful to be the head football coach at Zachary going into the 12th year. I'm extremely thankful for the support we continue to get. And obviously, the first Brew show takes place tonight. Got a bunch of people in here, so thank you for being here. We're excited about this season. We're ready to get after it. Come out Friday night. We're playing a really good Plaquemine team that's going to pose some problems for us. So it should be a lot of fun, but we're excited about it. So thank you for coming out. We'll see you Friday. Go Broncos.